We've got John K. Thompson. He is the global head of advanced analytics at at CSL Behring, and he's going to talk to us about analytics in pharma. We'll discuss patients, productivity, and price. John is an international technology executive with over 30 years of experience in the business intelligence and advanced analytics fields. Currently, John is responsible for the global advanced analytics and artificial intelligence team and efforts at CSL. John is the author of the new book, Analytics Teams, Leveraging Analytics and Artificial Intelligence for Business Improvement. And actually, on that note, I want to let you guys know we are doing a giveaway of John's book. So before I bring him up on stage, we're giving away 3 copies of Building Analytics Teams during his session. So all you have to do in order to enter the raffle for this is just type the word #packed in the comments. I'll put it in the banner below so you kind of can see the instructions. Definitely listen to John's presentation. As you're listening, just type in #packed so you can enter the raffle to win. We're going to announce winners at the end of John's presentation. All right, John, I've taken up enough of your time. Welcome to the DATAcated Conference. Welcome back. Actually, you've spoken before, so Thank you for coming back here. Thanks, Kate. Thanks for inviting me. I have my shirt, but I actually had DATAcated tattooed on my chest, so I'm going to take my shirt off. No, John, we're good. We're good. We believe that you've done that. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off the virtual stage here and let you take it away. Thanks, Kate. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Always exciting to be back with the DATAcated group and the DATAcated audience and the sponsors. Great part of our community, and I'm excited to be here. I'm going to talk about analytics in pharma. There is some things that have happened over the last few weeks that I'd like to discuss that were beyond patients, price, and the other P. I can't remember what it was in the title. I've been looking at some work that has been done in computation in the area of analytics and computational biology. There's a few companies out there that are starting to do drug discovery, not from a wet lab perspective or an R&D compound perspective, but from a computational perspective. This one company is looking at the cause of, I think it's 2 different types of breast cancer that to this point have been considered pretty much untreatable. And if these diagnoses are given, it's a really sad day for the patient. So what they found is that when you're comparing the genomic level information of patients, they're finding out that these cancers are caused by a constellation of genes working together. And it's a cascade of effects that culminates in this cancer. So we're at a point now where we can start to look at causes of diseases as computational models. We are now taking that forward. This is not a company I work with or that I'm affiliated with, but they are taking it forward and coming up with combinations of known drugs that are then being tested in animal trials right now, and they're finding that it's effective. So the hope is that these known drugs will be able to work on these untreatable cancers, and we will be able to do 90% of the work in a computational environment, which is amazing. So, we just need time on a computer and smart people doing the math and the data and the analytics, and we're going to make some really impressive strides in medicine here in the coming future, in the very near future. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about, and happy to answer any questions about that. Another thing that I'm really excited about is something that I think Gartner is referring to as synthetic data. There's a couple things going on in this area. One thing that I am doing at my day job at CSL. CSL is a $10 billion biopharma company, and we operate in the plasma space. So it's kind of a niche marketplace, an unusual marketplace. Most people in the United States are aware of blood donation. Much less people are aware of plasma donation. So there's not a lot of information in the general marketplace from IRI or Nielsen or Gartner or other people about how the plasma marketplace operates. We've been looking at a range of different data sets, external data sets, and we're being able to bring together a number of those data sets and synthesize that data. That's the word synthetic data, that's where it comes from. Bring that together and be able to forecast and project what's going on in the market. So it's a really interesting tool for us to understand our operations, our competitors' operations, the market in general, the broader donor market, so we can understand how we can serve that donor market better and help them with their health. So synthetic data is something that you're going to hear more and more about. Historically, we've been looking at data that already exists. We all have heard about image recognition, the use of 1 million photographs of school buses, at least school buses in the United States as we think of them, those big yellow truck-like vehicles that go around and pick up the kids, take them to school, bring them home, hopefully safely, every day. But you put them on their nose, you put them on their back, you flip them over, you put them sideways, you photograph them from the front, from the back, from the side, from the top, and you train these models on images. And that's what a lot of people think about machine learning and AI, is it's a large model trained on a monolithic set of existing data. And that for the most part is true. But in healthcare, we're starting to look at different types of data that may have a part of the problem here, a part of the problem here, part of the problem here, part of the problem here. We shove those together and we end up with an ensemble picture of the real world. And some of that is happening in the market, like I talked about, what we're doing in my team. And another initiative that I've been talking about that it's not in play at CSL, it's kind of outside CSL, like the first example that I talked about, but it is in the healthcare pharma industry, is using synthetic data about the human body for clinical trials. I've been talking about this for a couple years now with George Church at Harvard, where George and his team have been doing some really intriguing things around genetics and different kinds of information about transcription, sequencing, a wide range of really intriguing initiatives going on there in his lab. But George also has a model of the human blood system. So we have been talking about taking that model and probably augmenting it and extending it. So as many of us know, the clinical trial process goes from you try some things in the lab, see if it works, you move into lab, wetware tests, you move into animal testing, you move into human testing. There's a number of levels of human testing, of course, and you finally get to a point of where you have an approved drug. Great, thank you. So the idea is that we take this data, we take these objects, these synthetic people, if you'd like to say that, if that doesn't creep you out too much. And as you go through the clinical trial process, and we move from successful animal trials, but before we move to human trials, we insert a new step, a new computational step, where we test the biologics or the compounds or the chemicals or the drugs, however you want to say it, on these synthetic people. And we test it millions and millions of times across many, many different types of people. These objects that emulate and simulate women, simulate men, different races, different ages, different weights, different biologies, different blood types, things like that. So we can actually, if this really works, it does seem like it could, we could actually test every permutation of the human condition with every permutation of every possible drug that we think might work. So it's impossible to do that in a clinical trial. I mean, it would just take forever to do it, and you probably couldn't even recruit that diverse of a population to do it anyway. But that is something that we've talked about. It's on the horizon. It's going to be difficult to do, but I think it can be done, and I think it will work. So that's a really interesting thing to do. One of the other projects that I've been working on as well in my day job is on undiagnosed patients. CSL works and delivers plasma-based therapies for rare diseases, and sometimes those rare diseases aren't very well understood by the doctor population or the doctors that are seeing these patients. They don't present as something immediate and dangerous like a heart attack. They also often present in very confusing ways. So we've been working on bringing together, again, a theme in my presentation, bringing together a number of different data sets so we can identify people who are moving through their diagnostic journey but have not been diagnosed in a confirmed way, that they probably, with all likelihood, have these conditions, but no doctor has actually diagnosed them and given them a code and said, you have primary immunodeficiency disease, or you have hereditary angioedema, or something like that. So we've been very excited in my team to find, in one case, we found 16,000 people that probably have one of these conditions but don't know it. So if you have one of these undiagnosed conditions and you've been going to the doctor for multiple years, wondering what's going on with you, I think we can help.
Awesome. John, hope I didn't cut you off. I always worry about jumping up on stage if I throw people off. I just wanted to let you know.
No.
We're getting close to time, and I want to make sure we do the giveaway and take at least one question. So I'm going to share my screen for the giveaway so people can actually see who the winners are. If you're just joining us, we're giving away 3 of John's books, and I'll show them to you here again. Here they are. So we've got 3 of the Building Analytics Teams books. We're going to select the winners. So we have this cool StreamYard tool here where we have 109 entries. And I will make the first drawing now, and then John, I'll ask you a question. So let's go ahead and draw the first winner. If you want to participate in the next drawing, just type #packed, and you can add your name to the draws. So let's see. The first winner is Anand Mohan. Oh, I love that picture. Join us from YouTube. Thank you so much, Anand. Congratulations. Great book. I read John's book. We will take one question here before we do the next drawing. So the question here is from Ray, and he's asking, what impact will this computational approach have on time to market? There's still a long path of clinical trials. Is that right?
There is a long path in clinical trials, Ray. Great question. Thank you for asking it. There is a long path, but we now know, that it can go faster. The COVID vaccines obviously have gone through that path much faster than any other drugs that we've seen in our lifetime. So we're looking for ways to accelerate that process, and so are all the world regulatory bodies like the FDA and others. So we are thinking that this will cut down on the time it takes to complete a clinical trial.
Great, thank you so much. All right, we're gonna go back and draw 2 more winners now. All right, we have 128 entries, now 130. All right, our second winner of the book is, I love how this flips through everybody.
It's kind of fun.
Oh, there you go. Christian Andrade, thank you so much for entering. You're our second winner, and we're going to go ahead and draw this one last time so we can get our third winner of the book. And if you have not read the book, I highly encourage you to go to Amazon or go to Pact and check them out. All right, our very final winner here is, drum roll, Diego. Congratulations, Diego. Thank you so much for joining and for playing our StreamYard game here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my screen off. John, any final thoughts before we part ways?
It's always great to be with you, Kate. Your events are always so much fun and well attended and truly well run. So thank you for inviting me, and good luck with the rest of the day and for tomorrow as well.